Hey guys, I'm Attack Peter, and if you didn't watch The Simpsons, specifically season 3 to like 9.5, your childhood was trash.
Spider Pig does whatever a spider
Nick,
pig.
I love your shirt, dude. I'm literally in the middle of debating whether I order the Super 7 Bartman right now. It's a good figure.
I actually, like 2 weeks ago, I've been going through, I moved in 2020, and I still have a garage full of stuff that I moved in from my mom's house when I was younger.
Sick.
And I actually just found one of my bins that had this, like, do you remember the Tyco yellow, tubs?
Yes.
Yeah, I have one of those, and it had like all of my little bits and pieces that I could find, and it also had Deadeye Duck and Bartman in it, like
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
the old Bartman figure. So I was super stoked. I was like, yes, I at least know where
Dude,
those
that
are.
figure was so cool. I remember back then when that came out, I was like, damn, this really looks good. And
It does.
then now it obviously has aged, but it was they came on like blister packs like at Toys R Us. They had a few different characters. That
Yeah.
was and like a white card back or something, like white or gray or something.
Was this the first one of Simpsons figures that they did?
Playmates. Before
Playmates.
Playmates.
Okay,
I'm talking about like this might have been early 90s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the Playmates were incredible.
Yeah, those
The
are great.
Playmates ones were awesome. And
The
then
20th season set.
yes.
That
Yeah, they had everything.
Yeah.
literally, I was going through another thing. I've got Yao Ming, and
From that series?
yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
incredible, dude.
And
That's cool.
we did a toy convention a few months ago, and I had Britney Spears there.
What?
The Britney Spears Simpsons figure.
No shit. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
yeah,
So I regret never picking up or never finding the Penn and Teller set
right.
for The Simpsons. I always wanted that, but I definitely had Bartman because he was always my favorite. And then
Yes.
I bought the comic book guy with his comic book store just because, you know.
And so
nerds.
then McFarlane did these little mini sets. You remember those?
Yeah,
There was one where like Homer's being fed by the demons in hell, the donuts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they were so good because they kind of had this weird like it seemed like they had this weird texture to the figures, like the Muppets toys have.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but it looks so good. I don't know why.
right.
And then the Super 7 ones that came out are just flawless, but they're done. They lost the license, I think, because now this other company's producing them, and they're fine. The other company, I think it's Jack Specific. They're nice. They're fine. They're like a cool. They're small or a little bit bigger. You can get everybody.
Yeah, for like
They're
$12 for what they are. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's really the market for Simpsons.
I bought for Christmas from my wife. You know, my wife and I are big Simpsons fans.
Yeah.
This is proof that she's the one. I got her Kang and Kodos from Super 7, and she was
Nice.
over the moon. And they're so good. They're so fucking good.
Yeah. Those sculpts, the sculpts that they got on those, they look like they popped right out of the cartoon.
Look, I got this Krusty here. Dude, it's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So good. It's a shame. I love it. I hope they get it back at some point.
I would.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with that, but I think they lost the whole like Disney Marvel like catalog or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's it's funny. It's like everything is constantly in motion in this business. Like every company you'll see, like right now on YouTube, if you pay attention, like there's all this talk about who's going to have the DC license next year, who's going to have the Marvel license next year for toys.
Yeah.
And it's going to go to this company and that company. And I'm like, it's all super possible. Like, licenses expire and then a company goes, I think we did all we needed to do there, or we can keep milking this forever. And then it's weird because as a collector, you're like, yo, I'm not done. Let me finish that line real quick before you totally reboot
Exactly. Oh my God. And the whole rumor that Hasbro's losing like the Marvel license and stuff.
Is that's one of the rumors?
That's one of the rumors. Again, rumor. I hope they don't, because I still need a feral figure to complete my X-Force line.
Are you a Marvel Legends guy?
Only a Cable and X-Force. That's the only figures I collect from Marvel Legends.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't. Too much money.
It's a lot. It's a very complete. I mean, look, I tell people as a person who works at a toy company, I go, you don't need everything.
No.
Calm the fuck down. Can we curse?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Calm down, dude. You don't need every single character. Like
Yep.
that's a compulsive thing that you are suffering with. By the way, been there, and and it's much more sustainable as a hobby. And frankly, I think it's more enjoyable if you curate and you
Yep.
curate with something like you said, like I'm a Cable, X-Force. That's really cool because that
Yeah.
means that you'll probably have Cable and X-Force. Maybe you'll have some different retro figures of those characters or whatever. And
I
when
literally-
someone goes to your house and to enjoy your collection, they're not going to see the same damn collection that's everybody else's house.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing. So like, I tell people don't feel compelled to be completionist because you'll drown and you'll resent the hobby.
We've talked about it plenty of times before, but my friends hate me and they don't understand me because if I go buy Ninja Turtles, I can buy Michelangelo and not the other three, and I'm happy.
Same. Yeah.
Because it's my favorite character. That's all I need.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, I don't understand how you can do that. Because I have one, and that's my representation. Just like Master of the Universe, I want to give me a He-Man figure, and I'm happy.
Who are these friends that they're so judgmental of
It's probably not good
not
friends.
me.
Clearly,
No, listen to me. If I had a friend, let me tell you something right now. If I had a friend come over to my fucking house, and they had even one comment about which character I bought or did not buy, the speed at which I would be fucking kicking them out of my house. I'm like, you're out. You're fucking out. And in you know, in Miami, where I'm Cuban and my family's Cuban, and they had like when I was a little kid, if someone upset one of my aunts or my mom or whatever, there was a thing that they would do where they would write your name on a piece of paper, and they would put it in the ice cube tray and pour water and freeze your name, and so then you would be affected. It's like a diet voodoo, where you're like you're frozen, like you're not accessible. We don't talk to you. We don't interact with you. You're frozen, and you'll never come around, and you won't feel comfortable around me. I won't feel comfortable around you because you're fucking frozen. And if they repaired it at some point, they would, crack the ice. And
that's a cool little like
terrifying.
Physical. It is.
Don't
It
fuck
is terrifying,
with people, bro. Don't start
Yeah.
telling people which turtle to collect. Look at this, by the way.
I thought, yeah.
Oh,
This is a
goddamn.
squishy head.
Is that that's a vintage,
real.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
You know how much I paid for this?
150.
$20. You know when?
How?
Because it was
when?
2003. 2003.
Ah,
2003, MegaCon in Orlando. He was hanging off a peg. The turtles, like even the 2000. This is probably 2002, right before the 2003 figures came out and that whole thing came back.
Yeah.
People didn't give a shit, dude. It was
No.
$20,
That's insane.
and it's
That's
so
insane.
fucking cool. Michelangelo is actually my first turtle that I bought,
He was the first turtle created, so makes sense.
and I have like a fake vintage one here somewhere. But
Okay.
I wish I had the squishy head Michelangelo because that's the one that I got first. It's so cool.
So it's funny you bring that up because I've pretty much been like a modern collector, just because
what collector?
A modern collector.
Same,
just
dude,
because the sculpts, the sculpts and everything. It's literally what we pictured as you took that Ninja Turtle that Raphael as a kid and played with them. And in your mind, he looked like the Super 7 Ultimates version.
No, I'll show you what he looked like in my mind. Look, he looked like this. This is what he looked like. Literally, this line that we're
yeah.
This is what I remember when we started talking about this. We're like, Super 7 makes incredible figures for turtles.
Mm-hmm.
NECA, shut it down after that.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need a single turtle figure after NECA, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The only reason to get back into the game is if you're doing something that hasn't been done yet, if you're stylizing it in a certain way that's different, whatever. To me, the only thing that was left to do is the two things that we're setting out to do right now, which is our 1/6 scale turtle line, but we're doing it original takes on the characters as if we were tapped to design the turtles for
That's so cool.
Ninja Turtles 2/3 that never happened, right?
Yeah.
So that's our alternate canon we're doing. And then the other thing is these figures that we're doing, these are the black and white Mirage variants, but even the regular color ones, we said if we're going to do something, you're not going to beat the nostalgia of Super 7 Playmates. Those are you're not going to beat the nostalgia of the cartoon turtles and the movie turtles. To me, the quarter scale movie turtles that NECA did are some of the best toys ever made.
God, amazing.
Ever made. And so the only thing you can do is the feeling I had as a kid holding a Ninja Turtle. And maybe
Yeah.
you guys remember this, they felt like a certain way in my hand, like those big
Yep.
shells and all that. I had a tiny little baby hand,
Yeah.
like this big man hand I have now. So these are plussed up to feel like they're just more detailed, better paint, better
Yeah.
sculpts. But when you hold them in your hand, they feel the same freaking way, like a little
Oh,
mini
that's
Nerf
awesome.
football.
That
You
is
know,
awesome.
and we didn't really expect it to work in any meaningful way. But when we got them, we're like, fuck, we did it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We succeeded somehow.
You dared and you did it. That's awesome.
man.
But the whole reason why I said that is because, mainly modern, but I've had that nostalgia bug, right? Where
Mhm.
I'm grabbing I got like the old Darkwing Duck action figure, and
So good.
I found a Taiwan He-Man for a good price,
Ah.
and like my local secondhand store had his shield, and then I found the Taiwan sword for like $15 on eBay. So
Cool.
so my next step, because I'm a huge turtle fan, is I just bought a soft head Michelangelo off eBay like 2 hours
No
ago.
way. Sealed
But-
or open?
No, it's open. There's
I
one
want an
there
open
that's
one.
sealed.
I want an open one. I want to.
I want to squish it. Yeah.
Sometimes I want to open this one to squish. Like, don't do it.
No, don't. Yeah.
How much do they go for loose, squishy?
Loose without. He just comes with a belt. He doesn't come with any
I don't need
accessories.
weapons.
That was $15. I got him for.
That's not
That was a
bad.
steal. No, that was a steal.
Is that rare?
But yeah, I think so. If you want him complete, he's probably like loose complete with the tree like broken off. It's probably like $45-$50. It looks like, and then on card he's like 200 with the original 10 back. So
what does
I'm
that
not
mean? There's a different back.
yeah, so that's probably a 10 back if it's a squishy head. Yeah, so that's the first run of Turtles was just the original 10 figures, and with the squishy heads, and then after that there were the hard molded heads, and it was like a 13 back or something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
Or they have
I'm
a lot
with you,
more
man.
characters, but-
I like vintage pieces because it reminds me of something specific, and sometimes I can articulate that, and sometimes I can't. But nonetheless, if it feels good, I love it. You know, I have certain figures like that, and then there's something to be said for like what triggers the nostalgia in you, you know, and like I said, the squishy head is a big one for me, and it's funny because I think and I remember when they changed over and they had the hard heads, and as a little kid I was like,
yeah,
fuck.
it was jarring.
And so that when I grew up and started collecting, like, you know, my own personal collection of figures, I became super drawn to soft vinyl toys.
Yeah.
Because even though like this is a soft vinyl toy, but it's not soft, it's firm.
Yeah.
But there is like certain like traditional vinyl figures that there's actually give to it.
Yeah.
Some people think that makes it cheap. This thing is like a $300 figure, just so you know. But there's something about that squish is like, fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah, it's so the first episode we did was talking about Ninja Turtles, and
cool.
one of the things I brought up with that is one of my twisted nostalgia memories of those turtles is the soft heads and putting them in my mouth and just squishing it with my teeth,
So
not
satisfying.
biting them, never leaving any marks. But yeah, it was just a satisfying little rubbery sound and a squishy feel. It was that. I might need to buy another vintage Michelangelo just so I can actually do that.
We'll sterilize it first, but I would buy someone if my Playmates wanted to come out with a bags of just the squishy heads to chew on.
Oh my god!
Let's put it out there, bro.
Like bad balls.
Yeah,
pacifiers.
Yeah,
but small.
A little pacifier thing with the head on it. Oh my god! Oh my god!
100%.
Who do we have to shop that license to? Like
it's a chewing
nobody
one?
does anymore.
No. Yeah, that's a good one though.
That would be good. That's a good one.
I love it.
Yeah, but even like that He-Man, the Taiwan He-Man figure, he's got a soft squishy head too.
Yes, true. That's a good call. I never had that growing up. Obviously,
neither did I.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I had my He-Man growing up was the Battle Armor He-Man, and then I had Hordak, not Skeletor.
Yeah, funny. I never had the OG He-Man, and I had all those old ass figures. It's funny. Like I look back at my I still have a lot of them. I may have had it. I don't have any memory of it. My only He-Man is Battle Damage He-Man. And now the Mondo one that I have on display is in the Battle Damage armor because that's He-Man.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
You got that thing is killer. It's
Yeah.
funny. I keep I've always loved T-Man and Battle Cat. I just love the colorway on him and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
I never had him as a kid, but I got him like secondhand as a flea market sometime in my life, and it was just with the saddle. It was like till I was in my 20s when I realized, holy shit, he came with a helmet, and then I had to hunt down the helmet and stuff like that. So I have the original one, the Taiwan saddle, helmet, everything like that. The only Battle Cat figure that has been made that I do not have is the Mondo one, just because of the price, and I have no place to put it.
Okay. You know what's funny is I think about the pursuit of the figures, and when I was in my early 20s, like when I first had disposable income, I was like just fresh out of college, a little bit of money working retail, whatever, and the Four Horsemen had come out with the He-Man figures. Oh, thank you. With
the 2000X line,
yeah, and
so good.
It blew my mind because I think that era of figures was a little golden age of figures. It was the 2000X He-Man line. Mattel was also doing like some Batman figures that were really good. Toy Biz was doing the original Marvel Legends, the Spider-Man Legends or whatever first. Mezco was doing incredible stuff. Palisades was doing the Muppets.
Oh my god, those Muppet figures!
I had a bunch of them, and now they're worth like a ton. I had sold them all. But the point is, I remember the He-Man figures coming out, and I go, God damn it, dude! There's something about these that it's everything. It's like the perfect era of nostalgia for me at that moment, because it was the first time He-Man had come back in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And then I got to go to Comic-Con for the first time, and the Four Horsemen at the Mattel booth had all the big prototypes of the figures. And
nice.
They were just so incredible looking that I was like, I got to have all these. And so it was the first time that I went and hunted figures. And I would go to different Targets. I would go to Walmarts at night. And I remember Mecha was impossible to find. And then it was the first time that I actually learned that I was like, when I got the figure, it felt less good than when I was about to get the figure.
Yeah.
And that, like, I think what I like is this like pursuit, this kind of hunter gatherer thing. Having the figures,
it's exciting.
Cool. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Like you park your car. It's like 12 at night, midnight, because that's when Walmart pulls out the boxes. And like, okay, we're gonna walk right over there. I'm gonna grab a little drink.
And it was open back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're walking a little bit faster than normal, but not running to look awkward or bring attention to yourself, but just a little bit faster in case there's another collector around.
And I would just go, and the Mattel boxes had like a purple stripe. Yeah. I'd be like, that one, please. Can we open that one? And I go through. Ooh, got them. Yeah. And it was like just a golden era of like falling in love with toys, And then I remember starting to read Toy Fair magazine and Action Figure Modeler and all those kind of things. And I'm like, damn, there's people who do this for a living and they're known and they're like respected for their work. And I'm like, that's really cool. And I discovered this guy, Dave Cortez, who had sculpted all the Hellboy figures from Mezco, which to me are one of the greatest figure lines of all time. And I'm like, it made me want to do this professionally, to be in this business professionally, because I didn't think it was a thing. I didn't even consider it before. I just thought that there was like somebody pulling a lever, toys come out type of thing.
That's how it was.
Some kind of suit and tie sitting in an office. Yeah.
Yeah. And it set me on this journey. And I'm like, I remember going to college and feeling like, well, I live in Miami. I don't want to leave Miami. I don't, I have Cuban Christian Catholic guilt that if I leave Miami, I'm going to like disappoint my whole family and all that kind of shit and break up the family. So I'm like, I can't get into the toy industry from here. So maybe if I just study business, I'll be able to work for a company that does something adjacent to toys or whatever it is.
Sure, yeah.
And it was just such a bummer. I'm like, what's this life for? And then we had a friend of ours who we grew up with, super handsome kid, popular with the chicks, brilliant, great.
Like
huh? Right. Yeah. Too good. No, he was like literally a perfect mix. And he, when we were in college, in the middle of all this, he got hit by a drunk driver and it didn't even kill him. It turned him into a vegetable. like fully paralyzed, and like to the point where they had to clip
Feel
off his
bad now.
fingers from fucking like circulation, and he couldn't talk, and it freaked me out so hard because aside from the fact that this is my friend's and his life is fucked, but it was like he did everything right. He wasn't driving drunk. He got T-boned, and like from 1 second to the next, whatever his plans were, and it made me think that I can no longer live, kind of overly safe like that. I need to take risks. I need to try things, and I quit my degree program and I started studying art very seriously, and trying to get every skill I could technically to be able to be marketable at some point to someone in this business. And I didn't know what that path was going to be pre good internet, 2003, like the internet was still garbage. And I didn't, there's no connections, no networking happening on the internet. And then eventually like things just worked out, but it was that era where I freaked out and I said, I'm not going to pussy out. I'm going to go all out and try to get into this somehow.
I mean, that's a tragic way of getting into it, but I'm glad you got into it, period.
Yeah,
I
Well,
wish it was
gave me
other
courage,
circumstances, but
like because you think there's always, well, I can always. You can't always. You don't know.
There's always next time. Yeah. But you don't know. There is
Memento Mori.
Memento Mori.
Yeah, Memento Mori is the slogan that means like you basically remember you're gonna die. And live every life, live every day, remembering that this ends at some point. At least for now, until we figure out how to upload our consciousness somewhere. But it ends at some point. So, take that for what you will, but just make sure you're not betraying yourself with your life that you're living.
Yeah, that's very, very wise.
Yeah,
pretty solid advice.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that it would come from you?
Yeah, one part Master of the Universe figures and one part a fucking horrific event that happened to someone I know.
Yeah, well, let's bring it back a little bit to the happy stuff at least.
Yeah.
So it's funny when those figures came out. I was working at my first ever job, and I was like, we had KB Toys up here. I don't know if that was a nationwide chain or not. Okay,
yeah.
That was my first ever job, and
No way.
I spent my entire paycheck almost just at that store with my 40% off discount.
That was you're talking about the time when these figures were coming out, the Motu figures?
Yeah. Okay. So I have so many 2000X He-Man figures. Yeah, in my totes, hidden and stuff like that.
You still have them on a card?
Some of them, yeah.
Nice.
I was obsessed with them because like I grew up. So my brother's 10 years older than me, so he had like some He-Man stuff.
How old are you?
Born I turned 40 this year.
Okay.
So He-Man came out when I was born. Right. So my brother got the real exposure. I got the secondhand exposure.
Yeah.
So when the 2000X came out, I was all over it. I bought the regular carded figures, and then you remember they came out with the carded figures with a VHS taped to them. Like even if I already had the character, I got the VHS version too, even though the character was exactly the same.
Because I had to open that was a real line where I had to open one, and there was something about how well they were posed in the package. I'm like, I need that version too. So like Trapjaw, Buzz Off, Merman. It was like, and the cartoon had come out and it was so good.
Oh my god, it still holds up. It's a great cartoon.
It's like super dense, full of lore. I think it's funny because I think the creators of that show knew who they were marketing it to, who the fans were, and I think the channels also wanted kids to watch it. But it felt like a throwback cartoon in that it wasn't condescending to kids. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, it's very like episodic. It wasn't. It's the flavor of the week stuff, and that's like especially for like my age, that's the time when that's what I wanted, right? Because you didn't want the, one-off adventure. You want that overarching story and stuff, and they did it so good at that time. Just like when Exo Squad came out. And they did that, and I was obsessed with that show just because it was literally like a soap opera for kids.
Yeah,
right. It was like something's happening every week, and they're staying true to that story and continuing on with it, and it was just so compelling. And like you said, they're not talking to you feel like you're watching a more mature adult show as a kid. Even though it's a cartoon.
It's alluring because you feel like you're watching. Ooh, I don't think this is for me, but I'm getting a little sneak peek at this.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 2000 XC Man, was it 2012 Thundercats
Yeah, I didn't watch
reboot that
that.
they did?
I didn't
That
watch that. You liked it?
that was it was along the same lines as the 2000 XC Man. You know, it was more modern take
That's
on
the one where it's like
everything.
a little bit. The style was different, like Lion-O looked young or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was voiced by Wilfred L.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched it, but I had Thundercats figures, but I never really watched Thundercats as a kid. I guess I don't know if it was on where I grew up. I don't know, but I had a bunch of cool figures. Like I had like what was the big bird guy, Buzzard Man or Vulture Man or whatever. It has like a stupid name like that. I
Yeah,
had
Vulture Man.
yeah, I
They
had
all had
him.
stupid names.
Yeah, yeah. I had that one. I had a bunch of the bad guys. Like there was like this Yeti guy, like the snow ape. You know, I forgot his
Oh
name.
yeah, yep. I
I
forget
had
his
them.
name too.
They were so cool. I just considered
And he
them.
had the thing in the back that
Yes, his
Yep.
armor.
I
goes like
have
that.
him
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I put him in the. I just put him in with my He-Man figures. Like they were all bros.
Dude, I'm still lobbying. Like I want action features to come back like that. So bad. Like just give me a sword swinging action feature, please,
You know,
someone.
that's funny that you say that because I constantly think that the one thing missing from figures is like fun. Like
Yeah.
there's just something like they're beautiful. They look amazing. They
Yeah.
are. They're
You could
great.
pose them in 50,000 different ways.
Yep. But there's some.
But
But like, it's like they don't want you to play with them.
Well, here's a great example
most people don't want to pay $40.
from
Oh
Mattel.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
It's a new
this
one,
is
right?
this is the brand new one, right, with
Yeah.
all the articulation, but like he's got the the real feel, the opening mouth, and
Yep.
the spinning punch, and it's like,
Super
give
cool.
me more of this stuff, please.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I would love to see a world where we can like mesh the fun stuff with the detailed sculpts and paint and all that. And I just don't know if there's a
Yeah.
market for it or what it would be like.
I think
But
I think there is a market for it. I think the problem would be making it to a point, like a price point that people would feel okay doing that because right? Like, you know, it it's hard to justify spending I think $40 on an action figure and then literally beating the crap out of it like we used to, right? Like that's it is I'm not a modern collector.
You're a
Most of my
vintage guy?
collecting, huh?
What do you collect?
Oh, I collect a lot of things, but most of my toys are actively just I pick and choose. Like I don't pay attention to a lot of it. Like I ended up with 2 reaction figures but it was literally I was walking into Target and I happened to find like dead Optimus. They made a reaction
I
figure
remember that.
that's just like gray Optimus after he died, and I was like, this
So
is
cool.
a fucked up toy. I need that one. And it happened to be
Yeah.
on clearance for like $5, and I was like, done. And then I looked at the regular price tag. I was like, that's stupid. I'm never paying that. And then I ended up with like retro Bumblebee too, because Bumblebee was like always a favorite character of mine. But I also found him on clearance. So most of my toys post probably 2005 or even some less in that area, it's what I find at a price point I'm willing to like be okay with, or stuff that's been gifted to me. So I have like a huge mishmash of toys back there. Like I said, I have Yao Ming from The Simpsons. I found him in clears at Toys R Us. I found Britney Spears. I think I have like 3 or 4 more from like the 20th anniversary line. But in addition to that, like I mentioned earlier, like I was going through my bins in my garage because I finally unearthed more of them because there was stuff in front of them, and I found my 2 totes of like original Turtles stuff, and I opened up the top one and I was like, oh man, that's crap. I just remembered what his name was too. Like the other day, the flying like mosquito.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
The vehicle one, right?
Yes,
right.
There was
exactly.
him and a bee.
Yeah. That was like right on top, and I was like, all right, I'll deal with you later. At least I know what's in this bin now, because it's just. And then like the second one was, I think I saw parts of the turtle layer on top, and I was like, all right,
nice.
I know what's in that one. But it was like it started like I've come in waves, but I'm not the guy who's gonna go out and get like any number of current figures. Like I find interesting ones that I like at the store, but most of the stores around here are super picked over, and it's like the
Yeah.
same. It's like, do I want Wingnut and Screw Loose from that Marvel or the Turtles Unleashed series? Or no, it's not that. It's the Rise.
The new one?
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
it's
right,
the
right.
new one.
Yes.
It's like, do I want 50 copies of that? Sure.
Yeah.
I found that. Every once in a while, there's like something else, but it's like that, or like I found like there's like a few Mondo geckos, but for the most part, it's like people are like, yeah, I just found this retro, like all the cool ones, and I'm like, not around here.
You know, why don't you guys just order them online? I like have no expectation of buying figures at stores anymore, because I'm like exactly what you said. I'm never gonna be there first anymore. I'm never gonna be. It's not gonna happen. And so I'm just like I just follow the. If it's something I really want, I'm aware that's coming out. If it's not, if it's something I didn't know I want and I discover it later, I'll go on eBay if it's reasonable. I'm not gonna I don't want to overpay too much. Big Bad usually has a bunch of cool stuff, and I kind of stay in certain lanes. Like I said, like you know, I love Godzilla, I love Star Wars toys, you know, He-Man stuff. But again, like, I just kind of like stay in like I had to get. I don't have all the Super 7 Ultimates, but that Muckman is a perfect figure. It's one of the best figures I've ever seen in my life. That Super 7 Ultimate Muckman.
Like so like I run into like a lot of the NECA turtles and stuff like that, and whatnot.
Your Target still has that stuff? You know, I went to my Target the other day. It was the whole section was gone.
Yeah,
we got a bunch.
The one by me. So Mike and I live about like half an hour apart, but we have different local stores. So like the one by me, I was just there today, and they probably still have I think 3 sections that contain like pops and NECA figures, and they're like 8-foot sections.
Really? Mine used to be that big, and then all the ones I've been going to here in Miami, they're gone. It's just Funko Pops now.
Yeah, like the Funko Pops, I think aren't even like I think they've around up by me, they're like going down. Like they're narrowing down a lot of them to the point where like I'd probably say it's like 50 in those sections. Like there's still the regular toy sections with like all the like throwback, like all the other turtles and you know Simpsons characters and that Transformers and whatnot. But there's probably a good 2 or 3 different sections that are at least 8 feet that are probably 50% pop. And then like even that, like 25% of that is those big ones with like the backing.
Oh yeah, with a comic book or whatever it is.
The comic book or like some sort of thing, right?
Dude, you know what I really wanted was the Hulk Hogan one. And then like now I'm like, if I have that Hulk, cause I have my old school Hulk Hogan figure, which I love. And I'm like, I just want to like Hulk Hogan. And now I put that up in my house. I'm like, is somebody gonna like read politics into Hulk Hogan? Now can I just have Hulk Hogan? Can I just have old? Yeah, I don't even want like Bubba the Love Sponge Hulk Hogan. I just want Hulk Hogan. And remember the wrestling buddies, man? I miss those guys.
Oh, the pillow guys, the pillow ones.
Someone made some new ones.
I just love the thumb wrestlers. Remember those?
Oh my god, the toys were so.
There's a TV show called Goldbergs, and I was just rewatching. Like there's a Roku channel that just plays it on loop. So I was sitting down the other day, and it was like one of the earlier seasons, and my 11-year-old was sitting there watching me, and it was the episode where they go through, and they're trying to get their dad to let them get WrestleMania 4, and so they run through all of the really bizarre, fucked up, like weird toys that we had that were wrestling characters, and they were like literally just running the gamut with the thumb wrestlers, the pillow. He's like like wrestling Macho Man Randy Savage in a pillow, and like
that's awesome.
And like they just run through it, and it's and you know how like Family Guy does like 3 or 4 of them in like a row, and then they stop. They did like 15 or 20, and I was like, I looked at my 11-year-old. I was like, every single one of those was a real toy. And he's like, what were half of those? I was like, don't even ask.
What was your favorite wrestler back then when you were a kid?
When I was a kid?
Yeah. Because it's changed for me now.
Interesting. All right. So as a kid, when I was first getting into it, I had a lot of different ones, but I was a huge fan of the Rockers.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So like Marty Jannetty and, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And then like the turn that Shawn had on Marty, beating him up in like the alley or whatever it was, I was like, oh my God. And I loved Demolition. Right. But outside of that, like it kind of ebbed and flowed with like, I didn't have a lot of characters that I didn't like.
Okay. You were just into most of them.
I was into a lot of them. Like Andre the Giant was a personal favorite, because he was a huge, larger than life guy.
Seventh wonder of the world,
right?
Doink and Dink.
Superfly.
No Doink and Dink.
Oh, I did enjoy Doink and Dink. Right? Like
were they before or after the Insane Clown Posse started getting famous?
Before.
They were
before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were before.
I always wonder, like, it's like a chicken and the egg for me, because there's so much of the Insane Clown Posse that overlaps with wrestling. Like, I think they were in the wrestling.
They were. They hung out with the oddities, with with what's his face that carried around the stuffed Cartman and Kurgan, and
yeah.
Then they started their own wrestling league.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mike, what was your favorite wrestler? Were you a wrestling guy?
Huh?
Was Mike a wrestling guy?
When I was a kid, I was huge into Hulk Hogan. He was my man. And then the Legion of Doom. Yeah. Because I always, as a kid, it was like I was praying, can you guys just leave the armor on while you fight? Because they just look so cool with the football pads on and stuff like that. Yeah.
I was a big Jake the Snake guy as a kid. Because the toy came with the snake, and I was like, oh my God. Right. And he kind of reminded me of Captain Lou Albano's take on Mario, on Super Mario. Like, he gave me that vibe. And so I'm like, this guy just feels like a guy I know and I love. But the snake was huge. It's the same thing with G.I. Joe toys. If somebody came with an animal, that was my favorite character.
Yeah.
And then over time,
like
and then over time, like, it was all Macho Man, dude. Just because someone turned me on. I stopped watching it. Like, I stopped watching wrestling altogether after like the Crush Papa Chongo era. Like, my dad took me to one live one. It was awesome. And I love the Hart Foundation and all that. But like Razor Ramon, I started to push it for me a little bit. I'm like, you're not even Hispanic. But that era was like that Royal Rumble on the Genesis era was just the best. But when my buddy started playing, like, as an adult, I was a teacher for a while, and we started playing like Macho Man Randy Savage videos in the morning to wake the kids up. We would put it on the big screen. Like, oh yeah, the cream. And he gets a little cup and just holds it right here, rises to the top. I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest guy of all time.
Right?
And yeah.
He was a character for sure.
Yeah, man. Love that guy.
Iconic with that one. Yeah. All the older ones though, like that's where like I was a huge wrestling fan. Remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Mm-hmm. Damn, dude, Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man.
Ted DiBiase, Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man, dude.
Just fat cop.
Yeah. I loved Crush because in the game he had that ability where he could just actually start crushing your head a little bit. And then we saw him live, and he didn't do the move. And I'm like, what did I come here for, bro?
Yeah.
I came to see one thing.
Yeah.
It's like going to see The Rock and he doesn't do the rock bottom.
Yeah. Dude, remember Yokozuna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
He was.
Yeah, I love that whole like the superhero era of it.
Me too.
But and then do you remember the show WMAC Masters?
No, vaguely. That sounds familiar.
So it was pretty much like American Gladiators meets wrestling, and it was like they did karate tournaments and stuff. Like,
that's awesome.
And it was all fake and scripted and stuff. But it was the same thing. There was like one guy was named like the Cyborg or whatever, and there was the
you need that. I think I think that's like if UFC ever starts to lose ratings, you're gonna start seeing Rey Mysterio type guys show up. By the
I
way,
mean, we
come
already
on,
got Brock Lesnar, and
yeah, that's what they need more of that. I think
Is
to
he?
like
I think
really.
he's back in wrestling. I don't know. It's
No,
hard to keep
no.
track of that.
No, I mean, and
He is.
yeah, I'm saying in the actual cage fighting, like real fights,
Yeah.
but with characters. That's
like
what's
Ken,
left.
like Ken Shamrock,
Ah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Awesome
who
Ken Shamrock. Who's
Ken
immortalized
Shamrock,
in
who
Olympus
left wrestling, went back to UFC or whatever it was.
Yeah, man.
He was nuts.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him that much.
Well, that was like the late '90s Attitude Era. He was there fighting alongside.
Gotcha.
Like
Piper, Roddy Piper, that was also
Yeah.
one of the best.
Roddy Piper, yeah.
he
But the
was-
Attitude Era, that's kind of when I started fizzling out of wrestling. It's
Yeah,
like
and also-
right when like Stone Cold was coming around. Like I remember it was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, not Triple H, like when I was
Mhm.
watching and all that.
He was
Yeah, that's
he
funny.
did
That's
that
what-
weird bow curtsy thing. That was always weird to me.
That was a weird era.
Yeah, it
Undertaker was the shit.
Undertaker was badass.
Undertaker can what dude he was a man all these generations he lasted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, back then, like when his eyes would like roll back in his head and you get possessed, it was like,
So
oh shit, it's
cool.
about to go down. Yeah, yeah. They were larger than life back then. It was
Yeah.
so good.
You ever see that movie, The Wrestler, the Darren Aronofsky movie?
With Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
so fucking good.
Oh my
No.
god. Nick, you haven't
is
seen it?
fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Nick, put it on your list, put it to the top. It's so damn awesome, dude.
It'll make
amount
you
of-
feel.
But in a good way. I hate it. I
Yeah.
hate emotional anything, but it's good. It's really
Yeah.
good.
The Iron Claw was good. You see that?
I haven't seen that yet, but that's right on my list. Like that, it's feel like it's in the same vein.
Do you know the story behind the family?
I do.
Okay, so yeah, the movie sucks. It was so sad.
Oh, but like sucks because it's good.
It was good. It was good,
Yeah.
but like I mean, it sucks because like this,
I know.
you know what the story is, and like
I don't want to
what?
watch sad shit anymore. Do
yeah,
you like,
no.
see? I've gotten to the point, and I'm 41. I think I'm gonna be 42 this year, and
Were you born
And
in
I-
'83?
83. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're 41, turning 42 this year, unless your birthday was yesterday.
No.
Hey,
Confirmed.
math.
Confirmed. And so
I only know this because that's me.
Oh, okay, cool, perfect. So, but I'm just at a point now where it's like, I don't want to be my entertainment to put me in a bummer state of mind at all, dude.
Mhm.
Like to the point where there are certain episodes of Futurama and Simpsons I won't watch them.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna watch Fry's dog, Panucci's pizza. Fuck out of here. That's terrorism.
Yeah.
And I won't even watch the Santa's Little Helper videos. Remember the episode? Remember what's the episode where they get the collie, and it's like the dog improvement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez,
Dude, I
don't-
can't take it.
Yeah, there is like a number of like I'm kind of in that same boat, and I hit that boat years ago as well, where most of high school it was like if I'm not laughing or watching sci-fi something, I didn't even want to acknowledge it existed. Right? Like
Amazing.
none of it. I was just like, I'm just gonna watch comedies consistently with sci-fi mixed in.
Yes, bro.
And then now it's
Galaxy
kind of
Quest.
Galaxy
Quest.
So hold on. Here's the thing. That came out the same year as Toy Story.
Mm.
So who technically owns To Infinity and Beyond? Is it Buzz Lightyear or is it whatever Tim Allen's name was in that movie?
That's
I
a
forget.
good ass point, dude.
Right?
good
I
one.
watched that. I'm like, wait a minute, and I had to check, and like, yeah, they came out the same year. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And then Rainn Wilson's in that too.
Oh yeah.
From The Office. He's one of
Yeah,
the aliens.
I mean the amount of people in Galaxy Quest are
Alan
just-
Rickman. Yeah.
Alan
Yeah,
Rickman's-
it's just that whole movie was a fantastic movie.
It's so
It's
good.
so well done,
ahead of its time.
way
Mhm.
ahead of its time. And when you go back and you watch it, like you think about it and you're like, there are so many people in here who ended up having like fantastic careers. Like Justin Long was one of the dudes walking him through
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
He
schematics
saved the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
with what's the tall guy who ended up being
Yeah.
like in he was in a number of things like over the years, but they teamed up again in like that movie Accepted and like in the early 2000s.
Did you see Evolution?
Yeah, so good.
It was so good. I feel like it's one of
With
those
donkey
underrated
lips?
movies, dude.
Huh?
It's one of those underrated movies. I
It's
feel like
so underrated. You have
Yeah.
no idea what it's gonna do because you've got
Duchovny.
Duchovny, you've got
Is it Julianne Moore in that one? Who's the chick?
yeah, and then like I said, you've got Donkey Lips and Ethan Suplee in there
Oh
as
my
well.
god.
They're the ones who are like, yeah, just use Head and Shoulders. You're like, what?
Dude, Ethan Suplee now is
He's jacked. He's a super nice dude.
Yeah.
I met him a few
Yeah.
years ago at
Oh,
Rhode
yeah?
Island Comic Con.
Did you meet him
Super-
jacked or pre-jacked?
No, he was post jacked.
I bet he's like, how
Yeah.
does he like? Does he look cool as
Also,
fuck?
Yeah,
these
he's-
phrases. Do you mean a
it-
pre-jack or post-jack? Like,
but no, like he's a super nice dude. I met he was there, and like Jason Lee was right next to him and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
dude, how cool is that?
Yeah. It
You
was-
met Jason Lee?
Yeah, of course. Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
Mallrats, one of my favorite movies of all
yeah.
time growing up.
The 1 year I didn't go to Rhode Island Comic Con and Jason Lee's there or whatever.
Oh man,
I met Kevin Smith like in 2002 in a small convention in Orlando that's now really big, but he was the nicest dude I've ever
Yeah, that's awesome.
and he like I was like 19 or something, and I was like so nervous. I'm like, holy shit, because like to me, I don't know how you're our age and those first 4 Kevin Smith movies weren't like foundational. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Oh my god.
Every
No, and
aspect.
that's-
Yeah,
But
Clerks,
that's it, is,
Mallrats,
like-
Chasing Amy. It's
Right,
and
right.
Dogma.
I got
oh my
into
god,
those.
Dogma's amazing, dude. So good.
Dogma's even like weirdly underrated. Like I would throw
Yes,
that in
it
there
is.
Because it's been taken off the map. You can't watch it.
Bullshit, you can. I got multiple copies right over there.
All right, physical. We got it.
I
Nick's
got.
gonna rip
Oh,
them
I
for
have
us.
physical media. You asked earlier what I collect.
dude.
I've got physical media up the wazoo.
He does.
Nice.
Yeah,
Including
I
laser
never got
discs.
rid of any of it.
for
Literally
you.
ever. But no, like I don't know. You can see right here, like
Yeah.
I got that when I went to the pop. Like I've been a
Nice.
massive Kevin Smith fan since like the late '90s.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Have you been to RST?
yes,
Me
I went.
too.
I I took a road trip. Me and my friends of mine actually went to like Pennsylvania for a concert for like Rolling Rock Beer. They threw like a concert. They used to have like this big venue thing, and
Yeah.
anyway,
Huh.
so like on our way back, we were like, let's go to Quick Stop at RST. So
Hell
we ended
yeah.
up going to Quick Stop RST.
Isn't it so
and
weird?
it is.
It's like
It-
meeting a celebrity and it's a building.
So
It
when I
is,
went
dude.
2002, we went to Quick Stop. Or sorry, we went to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, and they had.
I did too. Who was working?
I'm not gonna lie. I think it was Mike Zapsik. Mike.
So I had not Walt. I had Walt Flanagan was working.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I had Mike.
Yeah,
Like
it's like legitimately working. It.
yeah, and so I was like, "How do you know how to get to Quick Stop?" And he's like, "Here," literally handed me a piece of like pirate,
Same.
like, printed out directions like a pirate, right?
Yep.
And we went over to Quick Stop, and we're like, "Hey, can we go into RST?" They're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll meet you around back." The place was locked, but it does at the time. It didn't look like anything had literally changed
Oh my
from the
god! I
shooting.
did not get to do
Jeez.
that. That's awesome.
Because-
That's cool.
because there were still the VHS tapes and Nintendo cartridges to rent. And I tried to get an RST video like membership card, but because I didn't have a Jersey license, they wouldn't give me one.
Oh, that
Dude,
sucks.
I was
think
bummed.
I
Did
think
you-
I
did-
haven't watched those movies in a while. And I think if I watched them, I would have like an emotional reaction. Like
Oh, you got
I remember. I mean, Mallrats. That soundtrack was the fucking best. By the way.
It is.
Mallrats growing up was
Fantastic.
like my favorite movie. Like when I
too.
was when I got out of high school and I was like in my early 20s, I started or tried to start a skateboard company. Like I
Nice.
actually just designed my own decks. I had them made, printed.
No shit.
We sponsored a couple local kids, had my t-shirts in some shops.
That's awesome.
The name of the company was called Escalator Kids, and it's because of Mallrats.
That's amazing. I love that movie so damn much, man. It was just like, by the way, it was like that one. There's probably a genre of films and shows that I need to like solidify what the list is of films and shows that take place in an 80s 90s mall. Like that's awesome. Like that's a vibe. Like now I want to watch shit based on a vibe, and that was like one of those things. And then but yeah, I got the Mallrats poster by Drew Struzan, right? Painted it, the original art. That's what Kevin Smith signed. I had that. It was so
that's
good.
awesome.
But you know what I felt like I missed out on when I went to RST was I wanted the Leonardo building to be right behind across the street, and it wasn't, dude.
Oh my god,
it was
dude.
not.
I hate
it's like nothing across the street.
Yeah,
that cartoon did not get the fair shake that it should have. It's such a good show. It's so good,
dude. It is one of I haven't gone back to watch it in a long time. I don't know how it would hold up.
Oh no, it's good. I watched it like a couple months ago.
Okay. I used to watch that. It was a double DVD. Remember, it was like a third one.
It's a double DVD.
I used to watch that on loop. Bear Who Drive Car used to put me on my ass, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, Bear's driving car.
Yeah,
how could that be?
Yeah, how could that be? Or the one where it's like where it has like we have a teeny tiny bookshop and with a teeny tiny coffee. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
Or the second episode was the clip show.
Exactly, dude.
Another burn ward.
Yeah, I use the quote. Oh, it's cold, Hoth cold all the time from that.
Oh, it's so good.
You remember the figures, by the way?
The in-action figures.
In-action figures.
Yeah, I got Brody over there.
Nice.
I have. So going back, like I have a number of things that Kevin Smith has signed. Like I have the Clerks 2 Lunchbox DVD set.
Oh, I had it.
It came in a lunchbox, so I've got the cast to sign it.
That's awesome.
The only person I'm missing is Rosario Dawson, but
good luck now.
Yeah,
now it'd probably be tough. But she used to. My brother met her at Comic-Con, doing random signings. It was right after that Edward Norton movie.
Yeah. Right, like, but like the cost of her signature like is $125 now, and I have a hard time like justifying that because I'm like, I think I spent $125 for literally everybody else on it total.
Hell yeah!
Right.
But like Kevin Smith is a mass. Like I don't get choked up or lose my tongue when I talk to celebrities, but Jason Lee and Kevin Smith were the two people that like easily did it to me,
dude. It's a super important. Like I feel like again, I try to remind people that like we kind of had a little bit of a monoculture or like a handful of subcultures, back then. But it was like you would pick your skill tree in an RPG. Like, are you gonna get into like indie music? You're over here. You're gonna be a Star Wars guy. We got you right over here. Right. That kind of thing. It was like a grouping of them, and. And those movies, man, were like rites of passage movies for us at the age. It's funny because he's obviously older than us, but like I felt like he was making that for us coming up.
100%.
Yeah, but even like you said, like it's cold as Hoth in here, like the topical references and stuff like that. It's
Berserker's timeless.
Oh my god, I was walking around my kitchen the other day singing that.
Dude, because someone was ticking clock.
Because I forget. I don't know if it was my daughter or whatever, but they were talking about Frozen and Olaf, and I was like Olaf. I was like Olaf, Berserker. That started singing that.
No. But
show me Metal Face.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
Olaf, Metal Face. Anyway, but the in-action figures. When I went, I picked up a couple then, but I went back. My buddy was like going into the Navy. So we were like, all right, let's go do something before you leave. So we're like, all right, let's do a road trip to Jersey. So we did a road trip to Jersey for two things. We went to White Castle for,
of course,
100% Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
And we went to Quick Stop and Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
Yeah.
It was it was near the end of the in-action figures series coming out. So they had them like $5 to $8 a piece.
Uh-huh.
And I think I bought 30 of them.
No shit. I'll tell you right now, I'm not even bullshitting you. As we're talking, I'm on eBay seeing if I can pick up the shit demon and
Will
blunt.
not be a
Oh,
shit demon.
so good.
He's such
So
a great
good.
figure. By the
He
way,
is
those designs were so good. That is
fantastic.
the Steven Silver, I think, is the designer of those, and he ended up going on to do the concept designs for like Kim Possible and some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
He's
see
all-
it.
Yeah, and he's always at the convention. Like Danny Phantom, I think is him too. He's always at the conventions. One of the coolest guys I ever met. But what a perfect style for that show.
Oh my god.
The thick lines. By the way, the
Yeah.
Jason Mewes design is the best. It's
Yeah.
so
It is.
good.
I have 4 muses.
Okay,
It
I'm
turns out,
ordering
'cause, like,
tonight.
So I have like the black and
You have
white
them
Clarks.
open or closed, by the way?
Most of them are sealed.
Okay.
Some of them got open because of a flood in my mom's basement. So
Okay.
a couple bins with in-action figures and a whole bunch of the Simpsons Playmates stuff
Yes.
from the late 90s.
They force you to open it then.
They forced me. I was like,
Yeah.
I got the backs are still somewhere, but they're definitely water damaged and the glue definitely came off. But I actually found almost a year ago, I found the Walt Flanagan.
Oh, nice.
The Walt Flanagan
Toasty
figure. Dude signed them.
Hell yeah.
I have
like in the shop, he just signed. It was probably
they were on the peg signed. He had signed them. So I have a fucking Walt Flanagan.
I bet you no one asked him to do it. He's like,
but I found it. I was like, I forgot I have this.
That's amazing.
But that was in one of the other totes. I found a whole 18-gallon tote full of the in-action figures, and I was like, if Marshall Will and Holly was right on top, I was like, oh, that's what's in these ones. All right, moving on.
Awesome.
Oh my god! So all these scenes keep popping in my head from the freaking cartoon, and I gotta say, my 2 favorite scenes is one when it's in Leonardo's office, and it's like close up on him, and he's like, "How do you like my new desk? I built it all myself." And I have all these extra parts, and like zooms out, and the desk like crooked and falling apart. It's like he's this billionaire, but he can't even do that. But then the other one is the Mutaba virus, whatever they called it, the Mutaba virus. And they're the mayor's there dressed as Mayor McCheese from
oh my god.
And they're like, "Can the Mutaba virus kill the Grimace?" He's like, "No, nothing can kill the Grimace." He's like so serious.
So good. That's one of the best scenes, and it's also like so ahead of its time.
The whole show was.
What about them shitting on Charles Barkley?
Oh, I love that. And Reggie Miller. That's who they also ragged on, Reggie Miller, and the voices they gave him. But also they put George Lucas on trial, remember?
Yeah, for Gremlins. Or Steven Spielberg was on for Gremlins. George Lucas was on for
Phantom Menace. And Phantom Menace. Like in Empire or in Star Wars, it says blah, blah, blah. And then when they meet him in episode 1, he's like, "But a child, how do you answer to that?" So
I want my $5 back. Like he's just getting his money back for everybody.
So good.
Randall was so good.
It's Judge Reinhold as the judge.
Oh yeah, Judge Reinhold.
How you gonna? Do you guys have any black tar heroin glue?
It's so good. I love that show. So man, I think where is that streaming now? Now you won't know. You have the DVD, but someone's gonna tell me where it's streaming.
Yeah, I don't know where it's streaming.
4 copies of the DVD.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, it's so good. It was the best. Like just all those little like the fact that Jay and Silent Bob it's a kids show, right? Or it was on ABC. They can't sell drugs. They sell fireworks.
Cartoon. It was their attempt to ride Kevin Smith's wave of popularity into adult cartoons at night,
and it was produced by Disney.
It
was animated by Disney, which is nuts.
So Kevin Smith talks about it in one of his interview DVDs. He's like, I knew that they gave me the money and they let me write the scripts and stuff, but I knew it was a mistake. So what I did was I just threw everything I could into the pilot season that they greenlit, and in hopes of getting a second season. But if I didn't, I knew everything I wanted to get was in there. So
I love that.
And then they showed it they only aired 2 episodes. It was episode 4 and episode 2.
Yes.
I know because I watched them on ABC, and I was like,
wasn't it like after the Super Bowl or something like that?
I think the first one aired like after the Super Bowl, and then the next one aired like a week later at like 8 p.m. And I was like, I was watching it. I
it
was
was
like,
set to fail.
Quick
was.
or stop. I don't get it.
Yeah.
it ABC did set it up to fail, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
They didn't,
that's why
that
there's
was a
only the
weird
6
market at the time.
episodes. And
I mean, they canceled Family Guy. Like people
Yeah.
forget that they canceled Family
no,
Guy.
Fox canceled Family Guy.
Yeah, and then and so I'm saying like it was on for like if you it was like really 2.5 seasons because the first one's so short.
Got canceled twice, right?
It got canceled
twice.
Fox.
I think it got canceled. It got canceled once, and then kind of like weirdly pseudo canceled, and then it got canceled for good for like I think, or it almost got canceled, and then got canceled again for good. And then when they came back, they're like, "You think we'll ever have another episode?" And then they listed off like the string of Fox shows.
Oh,
that had
I do
less
remember
than
that.
one season.
Well, Futurama too. Like they got canceled twice.
Yeah,
Did
how
you
crazy is that?
Have
but
you
Futurama's
seen?
back now.
Yeah, I don't even. The thing is, like, it's such a weird thing. Like, it was my favorite show for years, and I still those first 6 seasons are just they're great.
Gorgeous.
And but then it's like with Simpsons now. I go back, because it's all streaming on Disney Plus. We usually we build a strong, sturdy wall in between season 3 and season 9.5 ish.
Yeah,
and that's it. And we never go past those barriers. But sometimes Gabby gets curious, my wife, and she'll let's see what the recent episode. It is fucking crazy. Have you watched a recent episode of this?
So
I haven't.
It is the only thing I can compare it to is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where it's people but they're not acting like the people you know. That's what it is.
So what they at this point they have just, as far as I could tell, all right, let's take a step back. I've seen every single episode of The Simpsons.
Even you're current?
I am current. I never stopped. Let me rephrase that. I stopped watching it, but I caught myself up when the FXX thing did that every single episode in sequence marathon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, cool.
So I knew that was coming. So I literally have an app to track what episodes of shows I've seen because I watched too many.
Shit.
So I went through and I was like, I don't know, so I'm gonna mark it as a no. So I got caught up when they did that, and then I just never stopped watching. Like every once in a while, I'll go 3 or 4 episodes.
This is fucking blowing my mind. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this shit.
So as you go on, there's the golden era, right? You're right. It stops around season 10.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to.
There's a few good ones that it's not that there's no good episodes. It's just that it used to be platinum seasons, and then it became I'll take that one and just that kind of thing.
There's a massive lull after 10, and I'd probably say even all the way to 20. There was a lull even for me, and I love The Simpsons growing up. So that's where I was missing most of the episodes because they were just not hitting. And then after 20, that would have been 99. So I'd probably say all the way up to 99 was 10, 2009 was 20, right? So I'd say all the way up to 20, and then after that, it's almost like the show just became unhinged. There's an episode where Krusty starts smoking moon rocks. It becomes addicted to it.
What?
It's the episode has nothing to do with it. He's just sitting there, and I figured exactly what it was. But this is the exact moment I was like, they've just become unhinged, and I think they're just trying to see what they can get away with. And they're it's a complete offhand comment. Krusty's yeah, I was addicted to smoking moon rocks now, or something like that. And I was like,
the fuck,
dude. One of the weirdest things is hearing Homer make lewd sex jokes, and it's Family Guy energy. in The
So-
they're trying to
Simpsons.
compete. That's why. All
That's
right.
Dude, I was like, yeah, like I just so caught off guard by it, man. I think if Star Wars fans get mad at the sequels or whatever, I'm like, where are the Simpsons fans losing their mind right now, dude?
they lost their
Right?
mind 15 years ago and just never like. That's it. Is like
Listen.
most of the fans just stopped watching. I I I'm a glutton for punishment, and I've watched, like I said, every episode since then. Since the beginning, I have the VHS tape of the first episode, which is when they get Santa's little helper, and I've just
Is that the first ever
it
episode?
is the first ever episode. I have the
Okay.
VHS tape
Like
because
I
outside of
have
Tracy
that.
Ullman.
Yeah,
right. So there was the shorts on Tracy Ullman, but
Yeah.
the first full episode on by
Okay.
themselves was that one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I have that VHS, and like
Yeah.
I watched the shit out of that as a kid. I
My
didn't know it was the
case is
first
beat to
ever
crap.
like actual episode.
But as they've gone on, like the show has become like weirdly more topical. Like they kind of do a little bit more of what like South Park does, where they loosely weave in kind of current event topics. A lot of the characters have obviously changed. Like Apu's not even Hank Azaria anymore because that was a whole thing.
Dude, Marge sounds like her sisters, like Patty and Selma.
Right. And you know, you're not wrong. And with the number of voice actors changes, that like Dr. Hibbert's not the same anymore because you know there was that big push of let's kind of fix, you know, whatever. I'm literally blanking on the term, but like let's get the correct people playing these characters. So the voice acting has changed, so the characters have lost something because you know the person who voiced it was the heart and soul of that character.
Exactly,
You
dude.
changed
Yeah.
that person, right or wrong,
It's
whatever
too long.
whatever
It's been
somebody's
too long.
opinion is on that, right? Like you change the heart and soul of that person in that character by changing them. I do appreciate the fact that all the other characters, like when Mrs. Krabappel passed away and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
character itself was retired, and like they bring Krabappel's come back a couple times, kind of like in the background, but she's officially been moved on and stuff like that. In homage to
You know, I didn't even know that until like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" I had no idea that happened.
the character or the voice actress.
Either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The voice actress got moved on. Like Bart's teacher is now voiced by Kerry Washington.
Wild.
Right? Like so but they've done a lot of weird, interesting things, like giving characters who were just kind of like there, like plot lines. Like
Like who?
groundskeeper Willie got married
Huh.
to Karen Galan, or however you pronounce her name.
Damn.
Right?
That's
Like
wild.
so
To me,
Willie
like
married
The
Nebula.
Simpsons feels like a simulation that's existing in an alternate reality. Like it's like it's a persistent world, right? Like it's WoW. And it's like I figure like even if we're not watching it, they're still alive somewhere doing things and shit like that. It's just so weird when I watch that, man. I'm like, it felt like seeing someone you see every day and suddenly their voice is totally different and their personality is weirdly off.
They hit
It's just
puberty.
like it's not even I can't even criticize the show or whatever. I'm like, because I can't even like lock in, man. I'm just like it's like I'm being hit with little hands, like psh, psh, every time I hear something like that. It's just weird, man.
So as somebody who's watched it all,
That's what I want to know. Like it happened gradually for you, right?
So like I said, there was a big lull in there and I got caught up, but over time, like the voice changing was one of the biggest aspects that hit me, right? And then and that's kind of it that hit the biggest because it's a lot of characters that changed, not over time, but like literally between one season to the next.
That I did not know.
All of them are changed. And they did
And
the
when
same
was that?
thing. Huh?
When was that more or less? Do you know?
5 or 6, 7 years ago, somewhere in
Yeah.
that ballpark. Like there's an entire like documentary about Hank Azaria and Apu, and
I did not know that. Is it good?
it's actually really interesting
I'm gonna watch
because
it.
it's Hari Kondalab. He's a comedian, and he goes into this like whole thing where he's trying to figure out like where the character is coming from and stuff like that. It is a really interesting documentary that I weirdly found by accident. And then over time and over the years, like it kind of gained a lot of following and stuff like that, and it started changing how people were looking at the shows and stuff. So it was like between one season to the next, like Apu changed, Dr. Herbert changed. There's still a number of characters I'm forgetting, but it and it's nothing against the character, like the voice actors that took over, like
No,
Dr. Herbert.
they're actors and they're doing
They're
a good job at acting.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's
Nobody could have done it. That's the point.
Right,
It's
and
like
that's the
we've been
thing
with these
is
characters too long.
Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah, it's like when it's literally just like when they recast a live action character.
And no one will notice. Ooh.
Dude,
No
the new
one
Rick and
notices
Morty.
because it's just a voice. Well, less people notice because it's just a voice,
Yeah.
right? It's much different when on Last Man Standing, the oldest daughter, or
the daughter, yeah.
the middle daughter was like a medium height brunette girl, and then in the next season,
it was very skinny, and then
she's like a 5'9" tall blonde, and everybody's like, "Have you changed your hair or something like that?" Like they made acknowledgement that the character changed, but like it's still the same exact character.
Yeah.
Both actresses did okay in their own rights, but at the same time, it's like it's a lot less noticeable because Dr. Hibbert is still Dr. Hibbert. He just has Kevin Michael Richardson's voice now, so he sounds.
But they also like, at least the episode I've seen, the characters are different. Like
they are.
That's what's weird to me.
The
voice, I can say, all right, I'm not used to it, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? The people don't live forever. Although I feel like now with AI, couldn't they just have someone do it and then do like a filter over the voice? Like
I think that's actually like what they're fighting against for, like,
yeah,
right?
I think that's why we're having strikes.
But
you still pay the person to act. I get what you're saying, but come on.
But that's it. Is so, and that's as somebody who's been there, knowing that like the reins were handed over. Like they're like, okay, you're gonna start working, and they work together. Like the old actor and the new actor, like work together to kind of like pass the torch. But they did all take over on their own personalities because that's who they are. So the personalities of the characters have changed, and over the years, like Bart's like halfway background character now.
Dude, the episode I saw Bart's voice changed too.
No, Bart hasn't changed. It's still It's still Nancy Cartwright.
Okay, it was just so weird. It was like his character was like more chill or something like that. It was just so weird. It's a fascinating and entertaining thing to do if you're a Simpsons fan and you grew up with it, and maybe like a lot of people lapsed for a decade or more. Go just right to the recent episode. It will floor you. I think people will be floored by it.
It will, because what they've done is in 1989 they marketed it as towards us. Like we were in 1989 their perfect demographic. We don't relate to Bart Simpson as an 11-year-old boy anymore.
Right.
Pretty sure my parents didn't let me watch The Simpsons in 1989.
Same, dude. My mom saw Treehouse of Horror. We were watching Treehouse of Horror was airing live, and then they had that scene where it's the Amityville Horror, and she flipped her shit. She's like, "We are not watching this, bro. What a different era we're living."
My mom, like, my mom had some weird stuff, right? Like, My mom would show me Pretty Woman at 8 years old, but like didn't want to like let me listen to parental advisory CDs. But
Yeah, same.
here's a heartwarming story about a hooker, right? But she
It's
never.
got Julia Roberts. How bad could it be?
Come
right?
on.
That was honestly her argument. She's like, Julia Roberts is a fantastic actress, and I was like, I look back at like I didn't know it was wrong
Right.
or if it was weird or not, but now I look back, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't show my 8-year-old about a movie about a hooker. But anyway, the Simpsons was a cartoon, so she had near zero squabbles with it. She had no clue what came on after that. So like Herman's Head, Married with Children, like In Living Color,
What a
all of
lineup.
those
Dude.
all of those shows were on Sunday nights after The Simpsons, and it was just like I just watched them all. And my mom never checked in on me, I guess. I don't know, or she did and just
To this day, she has no idea where you are.
No, she doesn't.
Dude, I've been on a Married with Children kick lately.
Right?
Where do you
It's
watch
so
that?
good.
I
Don't
have
tell
like
me
I have,
VHSs.
no, I have like the Google TV things,
Yeah.
and it's on like their free one of the free
A
apps,
channel?
Pluto or something like that. Yeah,
Ooh.
I have
yeah.
the
So I've been
DVD.
watching a bunch of Married with Children. It's so good.
I've been to the Fountain in Chicago.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What a great
That-
show. Also,
That
ahead
show
of
is
its
so
time.
good. That show
It
is so
was.
good.
It was. And but
What's wrong
that's
with
it,
everything now? Is everything just bad now?
No.
What's good now? What's your, if you had to recommend only one show and one movie that you think, hey,
Oh,
this was wait, not like, oh, watch Avengers. No, like something like, hey, you know what? This was surprisingly good. What is it? A surprisingly good one. Because I'm feeling lately like nothing original is good. Everything that's like an IP remake has a chance of entertaining me.
I've been watching Shrinking
Okay, is that good? That's the one with Harrison Ford and what's his face?
and Jason Segel. Yeah,
Yeah, is it good?
yeah. I'm on season 2 right now. I like it. Yeah,
That's the one. Okay, I've heard of that. That's Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, would watch. I mean, Jason Segel is one of my favorite movies. Is
That
one
is
of my
so
favorite.
funny.
I mean, Freaks and Geeks
Freaks
is
and
one of my
Geeks.
favorite.
Such a
I just rewatched that
fantastic
too.
show.
I just
I'm
rewatched
ready.
that too.
Did you see
Count
Undeclared?
Floyd. Count Floyd. What's that actor's name? You know what I'm talking about? The dad in Freaks and Geeks. That he used to be.
I remember.
Oh man, if you don't know, he was a member of the SCTV, the Canadian SNL, and he had a character named Count Floyd that was like the shitty like vampire Dracula creature feature host on
Nice.
TV. It's so good, dude. Watch that shit.
Nice. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
All time.
So
All time.
good.
I went to that hotel. It was a
nice.
honeymoon for my first marriage. We went to Turtle Beach, Turtle Bay, I think it's called, in Oahu. Like, it's so crazy that like that's a real place.
That's awesome. That movie is so funny. I love when the freaking the big guy comes in. He sees all the tissues in a lotion. He's like, "Are those happy tears or sad or happy tissues or sad tissues?"
Oh yeah, Joe Flaherty. I was trying to remember. I was like, "Who's the dad?" And it is
yes,
it's You Suck, Jackass.
Yeah, Joe Flaherty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he
you
just passed
suck,
away.
jackass.
Yeah, he just passed away last year.
Exactly. I would kill for a Count Floyd figure.
But yeah, did you see Undeclared? It was basically Undeclared was fantastic.
With Jax from Sons of Anarchy and
Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Good ass stuff.
Adam Sandler was literally on the show as Adam Sandler.
That's like that's the kind of stuff I still felt was really good, the golden era. But so Shrinking, okay, I'll check that out.
Movies, I don't know, man. Depends on what
I don't
you're
take
into.
risks anymore.
You know what really surprised me? Transformers 1.
Oh, I heard that was awesome.
Fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm planning
shit.
on watching that.
It is so good. I thought it was going to be like childish and kiddie, but it blends the comedy and the action and the lore and the story so well, and they don't phone it in. Like when they're like on Cybertron and shit, it's not random character number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the background. it's Jazz, it's Sideswipe, it's RC, it's
That's
Wheeljack.
awesome.
Like they're all there. They're all different character molds. It looks fantastic. And
You're a
the
big
store is
Transformers
great.
guy?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Yeah, I really loved that Michael Bay. Oh, nice. I love the first Michael Bay movie a lot. Like I remember because I was like a so much Transformers fan growing up. I had figures, but I was like all good at But
Yeah.
that when that first Michael Bay movie came out, I'm like, this is fucking awesome, dude. I remember the
It was a good
technology,
movie.
and
Yeah,
I
it
feel
was
like
a
the
good movie.
technology like took a big leap forward with that movie. It was like, and when it came out on Blu-ray, or I had
Yeah.
HD DVD at the time. I made the wrong choice.
No, you
But
did not.
do you still have it? HD DVD?
Of course I do. I have an HD DVD Blu-ray player, so I
Oh,
can
no
put
shit.
whatever fucking disc I want in that.
That's cool. Because HD
Yeah.
DVD was like an Xbox thing, and that was the only way to get King Kong in the HD scale, right?
In the first few Harry Potter movies,
They were exclusive. They were picking sides. Like,
that
God
was it.
damn
Is HD DVD had like Warner Brothers,
Mhm.
Lionsgate, I think, and Miramax, and like a few
What a
other
dumb
ones.
war of tech.
And
That was the
then-
dumbest one.
But
And then-
they didn't have the porn industry, so
No, they
they
did.
lost out.
No,
No,
I
they
think
did.
they're the ones who did have it.
Porn was like, we'll give you whatever format, Laserdisc,
Yeah.
DVD, Betamax. We don't fucking care. We'll
There's
sell it.
enough to go around unless you live in Florida.
Disney was the
Oh,
nail. Disney
that's
went
what-
Blu-ray, and everybody's like, I'm
Good
out.
night.
So like,
And Blu-ray then Blu-ray was also on the PS3.
it was.
And so everybody had a Blu-ray player.
It was the cheapest. I worked at Best Buy at the time. It was the cheapest Blu-ray player that you could
Yeah.
sell.
Yeah, because they were like $2,000, man.
Yeah, they were expensive. Or you could buy like a $500 PlayStation, and then even when they started coming out like 6 months a year into it, they were like a $400 Blu-ray player. People like, is it really worth it? I was like,
It's a PlayStation.
no. The Blu-ray players themselves dropped to 400.
Oh, no.
Then you
Pay
had
the extra for a PlayStation at that point. Jesus.
Well, that was it. Is it was still easy to sell the PlayStation because you're like, you get a gaming console,
Yeah.
and it does all this stuff, and it's going to be up to date, and it does this. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, and then everybody's like, okay, fine. So like, I
Yeah.
still sold a shit ton of PlayStations entirely for that. But like, over the years, I have gone like, as HD DVD was fading out, I hit up all the clearance sales and picked up a whole bunch of DVDs and stuff for like dirt cheap. And I found there's a store called FYE that had a weird, crazy clearance sale, mail-in rebate, stuff like that. So I got like 2 of the HD DVD add-ons for the Xbox 360 and was able to mail away for the 5 free movies. And I think
I remember that.
And it ended up costing me like $20 total for everything, because there was like a mail-in rebate on the players and the mail away thing for the free movies, and I was like, I will spend the 40 cents on shipping on the mail-in cards for all of this, and spent $20 for them. They're still boxed in some sort of bin, but I ended up getting the
What
Blu-ray.
movie can you not watch that you love that you need the physical media one for? I'm not saying there's only one, but what's one that you're like, Jesus, if I ever lost this, I'm screwed because no one's streaming it?
Your house is burning down. What movie are you saving, Nick?
Oh fuck! Don't do that.
It could just be an example. Like I always wonder that. Like I have 0 physical media now, and I'm like, the only stuff I have is like a Bruce Campbell autographed copy of Army of Darkness, which rules. But like, I don't have a lot else. What am I looking at?
That's Bruce Campbell signed Ash Ketchum.
Oh heck yeah!
And that's Kevin Smith. But
Oh yeah!
if I had to pick one thing, right now it'd probably be my Mallrats VHS. But
Because you can't watch Mallrats on a streaming.
well, right now, if
I don't know. I'm asking.
So you can. It's, I think, but it's also signed by Jason Lee, Willem.
Yeah, it's a
Michael
memorabilia at
Rooker,
this point.
Shannon Doherty. You're right, but
Brenda?
Yeah, exactly. So
When Kevin Smith signed my Mallrats poster, he wrote, "Look, it's the chick from Charmed," and then he put an arrow.
That's awesome.
Dante wrote, "Sometimes it's okay to go ass to mouth on my."
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But if I had to like, so that's the thing is, I don't.
You just like physical media.
It's Dogma. Maybe my My Name
Dogma's
is
a
Earl
good one.
My Name is Earl DVDs.
So just everything Jason Lee you're gonna save.
Yeah.
Sorta. I have a very large Harry Potter box set collection.
Nice.
It's like this big. Like it's huge.
That'll be obsolete once the HBO show comes out. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Don't even pretend. But I don't know. That's a very good. I don't think I've ever had to think about that.
Hey, you need to start thinking about it. You can take this more seriously.
I do. Like it's all insured, but
You know what's funny is I occasionally have my own like discussions in my head, and like my house is about to burn down. What am I grabbing? What am I saving first? After my kids.
Well, yeah.
The kids have to be trained to carry something too.
Yeah, you grab that for me. Like,
Exactly. You get to pick as many things as there are kids.
That
twice
question,
because they get 2 hands each, right?
that question was posed to me, and I have like the boxes that like reams of paper come in. I have one of those with a few choice selected like autographed items in there, like my Stanley, Rob Liefeld, Spider-Man Deadpool comic is in there.
That's
and
cool.
My Nicholas Hammond signed Spider-Man mask is in there.
That's cool.
Right. Because that's my name and he didn't believe me, so that was fun interaction. But so that would be like it's like, oh, the house is burning down. Everybody grab that, you grab that, you grab that, you grab that, and let's get the hell out of here. So it's in its own little like paper box to make it easy to grab.
Yeah.
So they're not like trying to grab multiple things. But Dogma is probably one of those things that would be high on there to grab because
that's a good one because it's hard to watch elsewhere.
Because it's not streaming anywhere.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
good. I like it.
Last year we showed my kid Happy Gilmore. You know that movie wasn't streaming anywhere.
No shit.
And same with Rush
Hour. It's gotta be now that the second one's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both that and Rush Hour is like, good thing I have the DVD, so I just walked downstairs and grabbed them and popped them in. But nice. The amount of things that because we try to show my 11-year-old all sorts of things across all of time. And
this is a Loom.
And now you're gonna play the PC game Loom.
This is something we pulled from the future 200 years all across time. We used to need sunlight, but now we have the power of the sun in the palm of our hands. That's a reference from another film from a different era. I love it.
But he doesn't like the 11-year-old. Like there's a number of things we found that just aren't streaming, but he recently found out what a Laserdisc was and his mind was blown.
That's awesome. Laserdisc was wild. I didn't understand it at the time either.
It's in true fashion of I love physical media. I have 2 Laserdisc players. One is a double-sided one, so you don't even have to flip it.
Nice.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. Luxury.
And I started getting my Turtles DVDs signed by some of the actors. Turtles Laserdiscs.
Laserdisc.
Yeah, the Laserdiscs.
Sick.
So yeah, but the amount of things that it's just easier to grab physically.
I think I bought my first vinyl of my entire life like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Mallrats soundtrack, because if not, you did it wrong.
No.
That thing is worth so much money though.
Yeah, I paid $30 for this one. So
the Mallrats record, that thing is. It's got the that like magic eye print on the back on the whole record.
With the schooner.
Yeah. And it looks just like the CD but bigger. But it was like only released for like 2 years, and now it's just. Last I looked, it was like $100 and something bucks, and I was like, I'm not paying that for a record.
Hey guys, I don't mean to be rude, but I gotta bounce pretty
That's
soon.
fine.
Is that cool?